Welcome back, folks. Well, today we have an interesting topic. It's when a Jehovah's Witness elder defends a murderer. The danger of Watchtower's prison ministry. That's what we're going to talk about. So what happens when a Jehovah's Witness elder testifies in court in favor of a convicted murderer and contradicts himself on the stand? We're going to take a look at that. What happens when a religious group with no licensed therapists or criminal reform experts claims they can fix violent offenders using janitors, window cleaners as elders? Well, today we're exposing how Jehovah's Witnesses defend the indefensible and at the risks they're willing to take to do it, not just for their members, but for the public. Well, Troy Victorino, if I'm saying that right, Troy Victorino is the ringleader of what became known as the 2004 Deltona Massacre, or the Xbox murderers. And he and 3 others brutally beat 6 people to death with baseball bats over what was said to be a dispute involved in an Xbox console. It was one of Florida's most horrifying crimes in decades, and he was convicted and sentenced to death. Well, that conviction has been upheld through multiple appeals. Now, here's where the Jehovah's Witnesses come in. During a resentencing hearing, a JW elder testified on Troy's behalf, and he told the court, and I quote, that Troy was kind and gentle. But later in the very same testimony, he admitted that Troy had bursts of anger. Well, here's the question. Why the contradiction? Was this elder trying to present a cleaned up version of Troy for the court? Was he trying to support the Watchtower's narrative that even violent criminals can become Jehovah's Witnesses and be completely reformed under the care of untrained elders? Well, let's call this for what it is. It's a religious sales pitch, and the court didn't buy it. We're going to look at the court clip here, and there's about 17 minutes or so. I'm going to let it roll through, and it'll give you an idea of what Jehovah's Witness prison ministry is about, because he talks all about it, and then how they bring people into the congregation. And he's going to talk about Troy. So take a close look, and we'll tune right into that. There's a minute or two of silence here. So.
Okay. There's absolutely nothing to be nervous about. Just take a deep breath and relax, and we will get started. We're just going to ask questions and have a conversation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. Can you state your full name for the jury?
Alvin Eugene Barker.
Okay. And Mr. Barker, how old are you?
In 2 weeks, I'll be 88 years of age.
Fantastic. And just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Sumter County. I was raised in Sumter County after my mother moved us back from Alabama.
And tell us about your career.
Well, I spent 20 years in the military. I had various assignments. Most of mine was working for either 3 or 4-star admirals or generals. I had multiple commands. Some places the Navy would be the lead.
Well, certainly.
Navy. And then in Panama, I had a 2-star general, and I've had another 4-star general in Norfolk. And I retired in 1974. My last duty station was Just Athens, Greece. I was going to attaché duty there out of the embassy.
And after your retirement from military service, what was your profession?
Well, I was administrative, but I did different things. I've been a statistician. I've been legal clerk, postal clerk, just about anything they could throw at me. They didn't have anybody else to do it.
Sure. And how did you see Troy Victorino today when you came in?
I did.
I think we all want to know, how do you know Troy Victorino?
Well, I've been in prison ministry since 2005. I started at the work release of North Jacksonville for 2 years, and then
And then you expanded into other prisons, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just going to help you out with that. So, what year did you meet Troy Victorino?
in 2007.
Okay, and you said prison ministry. What is your religion?
Jehovah's Witness.
And what is Troy's religion?
Jehovah's Witness.
Now, did Troy Victorino convert to become a Jehovah's Witness, or was he raised?
He was raised in that, but sadly he went a little wire when he was a teenager, which we have very many that do. But a lot of them, they out for a while and then they have a visit from a brother, because we were required once a year to go to the inactive people to check on their spirituality and see if they would like to come back. We also tell them that the way they have to come back and everything. So
you're talking about inmates that you check in on that become inactive?
No, that was both.
Or members of the church?
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Understood. And just briefly, to give a little bit of education, Jehovah's Witness is a branch of Christianity?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have a Bible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But now with modern technology, we have everything on our cell phone or our tablets. So except when I go to the prison, I have to go old school.
So you have old school. So you have papers and you have books
Yes.
and the Watchtower magazine, I believe, is one of
Yes,
them.
ma'am.
Yes. When you met Troy in prison in 2007, what was your first thought when you saw him?
I said, "Oh my gosh, what have I got myself into?"
Right? And why was that?
Because of his size.
He's a big man, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how often, since 2007 till I know very recently, how often would you see Troy?
Well, we put them on a rotation basis because we could only see 4 each week. So we have 5, and so one of them have to be out. But a lot of times we have one that's very sick, so we put him to the last of the rotation. And but every week we could get rooms, but we have to, if the lawyers and investigators, they get preference for the rooms.
Of course. So you attempted to see him once a week, it sounds like?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long would you spend with him?
1 hour.
So each person that you're ministering to and that you're working with, you get 1 hour with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you met with him in the same area as the attorneys meet with their clients,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So this is like a booth with a table?
Yes, ma'am.
And,
he sits on one side, I sit on the other.
Sure. So there's no separation physically, really?
No, ma'am. Other than the table.
During all of your visits with Mr. Victorino, have you ever felt uncomfortable around him?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever felt intimidated by his physical presence?
No, ma'am.
Did you feel comfortable closing your eyes and praying with him?
Very much so.
And during your ministering, and this is going to be kind of in general because it's been so many years, right? You've known him for so long.
I've known him for 18 years.
Yes. What kinds of things would you all talk about?
Well, we would mostly have a prayer, and then we would discuss. When I first started studying with it, we studied out of journals from our branch. The first book we studied was What the Bible Teach, and then we Bible Teach, and then we moved him into What Does the Bible Teach, and then the third book was Keep Yourself in God's Love. And then by that time, I'd been studying with him for a little over 2 years, and I was able to baptize him. Brother Crossley gave the baptismal talk, and I'm the one that actually baptized him.
That's fantastic. So you talk about, obviously, the truth, and you talk about the Bible and religion, but did you also get to know him on a personal level?
I sure did.
Did you get to know his mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you meet his brothers?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you talk with his mother regularly?
Not anymore, not since COVID. The branch won't let us communicate with the family and everything. And we can study with him in person, but we cannot send him emails, and he can't send us emails.
Certainly. I think you're talking about Mr. Victorino, right?
That's correct.
So it's in person, but his mother, do you communicate with her still?
Not anymore, not since COVID.
Okay, I see. And as far as your relationship
can I
with him...
explain that now? Can I explain that one thing? Well, previously to COVID, I studied on just what we study with individuals if they want a Bible study in our community. But then the branch, during COVID, they started 3 states with prison ministry. It's called a pilot program. And that was Florida, New York, and California. And last month they added 5 more states, which is Georgia, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. So we got 8 states down in the pilot program.
I see. So it seems like there are rules and regulations to what you do.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to follow those rules and regulations.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Now, when he would speak with Troy over these years, did he ever talk about the offense and what he did?
Okay, I just wanted to mention you notice he went on and on about how they're doing all the states and the branch this and the branch that, and now we're doing all these states. It's nothing to do with the trial. He's just doing witnessing, courtroom witnessing. This guy is not only good at prison witnessing, but he has brought Jehovah's Watchtower into the courtroom, and he's doing courtroom witnessing, and he's trying to show the courtroom how great a job Watchtower is doing. That's my take on this guy. Keep watching, though. It's interesting.
It came up, but we have to not talk about that.
Yeah, that's not something you're really supposed to talk about, right?
No, ma'am.
Same thing with like mental health issues. Are you supposed to talk about that with him?
No, ma'am. We're forbidden for that.
Okay, that's one of the rules and regulations, right?
Yeah, both his health and his mental thing. We can't talk about that.
But he did share with you at least some issues that he had in his childhood with his father?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did he describe that to you?
Since he was the oldest child, he took the brunt of the discipline from his father, if you want to call it that.
And you made that qualification, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
From what he told you, what would you call it?
Same as I got from my stepfather, excuse me. And that was a beating once in a while.
Okay, so your understanding is he was beaten by his father?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And, but when it came to things like that, did he really go into much detail with you about those things?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Over the years that you've known him, have you seen a change in Troy Victorino?
Very much so, ma'am.
Can you tell the jury about that change that you've seen?
Well, he's mellow about. He has had issues like the rest of us from time to time, he would, well, a little bit of anger because what's going on in the world, and you could understand it. Being in a prison environment, I've had that issue myself. I'm still working on mine, and I have to remind myself daily.
But when you say the word anger, I want to make it clear, you don't mean like violent outburst anger.
No, ma'am.
You mean frustration.
Frustration.
And he'd share that with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you seen him mature?
Very much so.
I think that you've described him before as being mild, much milder now.
Yes, ma'am. For that bigger guy he is.
Have you seen him show love?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen him show compassion?
Yes, ma'am. He's actually, he has studied with other individuals, and I've studied with them. That's the only way that we can.
Okay, this is interesting. This here little piece on have you seen him show compassion. You notice how he paused for those questions? You know, he's really quick. Is he gentle? Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But he paused when it comes to him showing compassion. And then he did divulge, I don't know if it slipped there, but that he has bouts of anger. But then he tried to cover it up. Well, just like I have bouts of anger and I'm trying to work on my own anger. And then he all of a sudden made it about himself. That's a telltale sign of Watchtower cover-up. This guy gets angry. He gets pissed off. I know people like that. And they get pissed off. They get angry. And they beat people. I visited one JW who was in prison, who was in a mental institute for beating his wife, getting angry. It's a whole story. But anyways, that happens. This guy's downplaying it. But let's just keep listening and see what happens next.
We cannot proselyte in prison. If one guy studies with another guy, he can tell him to put in a written request through the chapel to change his affiliation. And the only one that we can go and talk to if they come into the prison system, just like in the military, if they have their religious affiliation as Jehovah's Witnesses, those are the ones that we can go talk to.
I see. So he's actually expanded the group that you speak with.
Yes, ma'am.
Does Troy Victorino write sermons? Does he write sermons?
I have used him, not for sermons, no ma'am. At our congregation meetings, we have, like the midweek meeting, the first two parts is handled by either elders or ministerial servants. And because they're cut off from the congregation, we have them to use those two, the first and second part on the service meetings. The second part is spiritual gems, and the other one is in-depth study of that. And we also have them to have their answers to the Watchtower. Also through the week, they write out what they liked about in the spiritual gems. And when we come in, Bart, Wright, and myself, listen to them as they present that part as if they would in the congregation.
Exactly. So he's done that before, provided that information that you presented, as if he were in the congregation with you.
Pardon?
As if you were in the congregation, I think you said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So here they got this guy taking parts that ministerial servants would get, like a part number 1. I could never take that part until I was a ministerial servant. The part 2 you could take as a brother. But they had these guys piped in like the congregation, giving them prestige parts. He's a murderer, right? That they apparently, he's telling you how they rehabilitate. They rehabilitate by sitting with them at a table for an hour once a week and having a normal JW Bible study and all the books that you and I know about. There's no rehabilitation there. But anyways, let's listen to some more of this stuff. It's quite interesting.
And has Troy Victorino shown compassion to you when your wife was ill?
Oh, yes.
Tell me how he did that.
Well, he wrote cards. He was, when he's there, he does paint pictures, and most of them are, all that I've seen is either flowers or nature of the birds and the different animals.
And he provided, did he send those to you?
Say again?
And he sent paintings to you and your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
And may I approach, Your Honor? I wanted to show. And Mr. Barker, these are, you provided to me this morning as from your collection. This is not everything he's ever sent for you.
No, ma'am.
Is this an item that was sent for your wife?
Yes, this was when she was her last 18 days in the hospital before she passed away. Her second bout of cancer and everything. We didn't know that she was going to pass away because the doctors were doing everything they could, but she wanted to die at home. She didn't want to go in the hospice. So they brought her home at 3:30 on Thursday afternoon. Around 3 o'clock Friday morning, I woke up and she was still alive. When I woke up at 7 o'clock, she was dead.
And this was sent by Troy Victorino?
Yeah, there's flowers and the birds.
Is this another painting that was provided for your family?
Yes, ma'am. And this, again, this is flowers and a butterfly here, so that was what he was into.
And you've provided me several cards, and I'm not going to have you read them, but they were created for you, for members of the congregation,
Yes, ma'am.
by Troy Victorino.
Yes, ma'am.
And he signed a couple of them as well.
He signed them, and then we had other individuals that we were studying with at the time. There's 3 other ones.
And this would be just encouragement or birthdays or what kind of stuff
No,
do you write cards for?
It was when they were sick or something, or at one of my wife's and I's anniversary. He would say that, but we don't celebrate Christmas or birthdays.
Yes, I understand. That's part of your religion as well,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? Yes. And did he do this because you asked him to do these things for you?
No, ma'am.
Did he do this because he cares about you?
He cares about being my wife, my daughter.
And I'm not going to pass them around. I just want to display a little bit, Judge, so they can see a little bit better. I'm going to walk down with these first. You're going to take these back with you.
And that's Troy right there. He's the perpetrator. Big guy.
Mr. Barker, is there somebody who's going to be taken over for you soon in your ministry, you think?
Beg your pardon?
You think you're going to retire from the ministry soon, or are you going to do this until your last breath?
Probably till my last breath. I'll be 88 May the 15th.
Is there somebody else who's going to be coming up behind you?
I've got one. I'm in training him. He's 14 years younger, so he should be able to last a little bit.
Yes, of course. And you want to continue to minister to Mr. Victorino?
As long as possible.
You want to continue to support him and receive his support?
Yes, ma'am.
Just one moment. Thank you so much, Mr. Barker.
Any questions?
No, you don't have to see.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wood, any questions?
No.
Thank you. Sir, thank you very much for your
All right.
time.
Thank you.
Good testimony for Troy. So this will be the end of
He is released if
the
you'd
end of
like
it.
to remain with us.
He's welcome to.
Thank you.
The lawyers have all done a very good job of getting their witnesses to us, and so it looks like we're going to have a nice long lunch today. So
Okay.
I'll be able to let you guys go right now for lunch, and I don't need you back until 1:15. So that gives you a nice long lunch today. So please
Okay.
don't
We'll
discuss
just
the case
wait till he
amongst
stands
yourselves
up
or
here.
with
How big
anyone
he is.
else. Please, no independent research. We'll see you back here at 1:15. Thank you.
Troy Victorino. Look at how he's a foot and a half taller than all the other guys. He's a big guy. Okay, well, that's it for the trial, folks, and we'll get back to our main screen. Okay, so did you catch it? Well, first Troy's gentle, and then it comes out all right. He has anger problems, but I have anger problems too, and my anger problems, I'm still working on them. But no, we're talking about Troy. So can you hear the elder pivot once pressed, exposing either a lapse in honesty or a deep bias meant to protect the Watchtower image? Troy's a Watchtower image to him, and he nurtured him all the way to prison. So if they would do that kind of work to victims, CSA victims within the organization, instead of victimizing them more, then it'd be a different story, but that's not how it is. So the problem with JW prison ministry: Jehovah's Witnesses often brag about their prison ministry, but unlike other religions, they don't stop at visiting inmates or offering literature like other religions do that, right? Other religions aren't going in there to put these guys out as ordained ministers out in the ministry, out in the public. But that's what Jehovah's Witnesses do. You see, that's what being baptized is about, becoming an ordained minister. You're accepting that you're going to minister under their religion, and they call you an ordained minister. So here's what Jehovah's Witnesses do different from every other religion. They baptize inmates, they call them ordained ministers, and then they send them door to door to speak to strangers in public. There's no background warning, no rehabilitation program, and no licensed therapists are involved. The elders managing the process, well, many of them are janitors, window washers, or retirees, like this elder was. Men with no formal training in trauma, abuse, or criminal psychology. It's a system built on faith, not safeguards. And guess who's never warned about this? Us, the public. You, if you're in the congregation. And when lies revealed the truth, what the elder contradicted himself in court, it showed us what we already know. The organization is more interested in preserving its narrative than protecting the public. They'll downplay a murderer's past to prove a theological point. They'll put dangerous men in your neighborhood with a Bible and a badge of minister and never tell you who they really are. And what about the biblical reflection of all of this? Did Jesus teach compassion for prisoners? Well, yes. He said in Matthew 25 and 36, I was in prison and you visited me. And in Luke 5 and 32, he said, I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance. But did Jesus tell us to send violent offenders to strangers' homes as ministers of God? No. He also warned us. He said, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Matthew 7 and 15. While Jehovah's Witnesses, they're not reforming criminals. They're giving them religious cover and public access in a system that is already failing abuse survivors. So folks, like, share, and comment if you agree that this is not ministry, it's manipulation. And subscribe for more content exposing dangerous double standards of the Watchtower policy. And as always, keep living your life with love. We'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.